gentle with the rabbits in the hunt. I heard this phrase in a movie, and I thought to myself, like, wow. I mean, it is so incredibly ironic and sad. The saying, in the quote, it basically went that when people in the olden times, when they survived, they of course hunted rabbits too. And what they did, they would say, be very gentle with the rabbits. They don't know you're going to hurt them. And I was just kind of like going, wow. And this very saying spreads right across to our lives as we're relating to people in general. the the touch the touch of the hunter to the hunted. They have a very, I mean, basically when they talk about with narcissists and love bombing, is that they are very careful to mirror you, right? And the thing about gentleness is that the Bible says that the tender mercies of the wicked is cruel. And I would assume that it means that the end result will be cruelty. The thing is about being, when a person is very gentle, for instance, their intentions all are wrong. I mean, when you're in their presence, or I would say the short range experience with them, you will see the consistency, and they're not about a hunt. People, in the name of trying to have and to gain, especially when people do get desperate, they're going to look for so many different ways to get their needs met. And in the aspect of doing so, the first people they're going to go looking for are the ones closest to them. And if they can't find that, they're usually going to target the people in their workplace who are much more of a very softer, nicer way about them. And I've seen that. I've seen that in the past in some workplaces I was at, or even, would you believe it, even in a church. I remember this one time in this church, this couple invited me, and I mean, I wasn't like doing extremely well, but I was doing okay. And I was like, they invited me to to lunch. Well, of course, I kind of thought to myself, oh, that's so nice of them to go their way, and I don't even know them, and they basically invited me for lunch. Somewhere in the middle of the lunch, they began to introduce a multi-marketing scheme, and they were trying to get me all signed up for it. And I don't know exactly what happened, but at some point, I paid for my lunch. I got up and I said no thanks, and I walked away. And I was stronger back then. As the years went on, I became less resolved inside and more doubtful of my worth. To have a gentle nature and a good nature, it's it is a high credibility that the world or people in general don't give a whole lot of credibility to. As a matter of fact, people would go as far as to say that you have to be more aggressive, you have to be more assertive. Even like you have a sales guy who is more of a gentleman. That you hear the term gentleman, right? Or a gentlewoman, right? Um, they will be spoken to by those who have learned the ropes of life, that they are not up to par by this credible quality they have called be gentle, or being gentle of nature. When the predator preys, just as they would do to, especially a rabbit. If you look at some of these animals, a rabbit is a very sweet, gentle nature being. It understands the language of gentleness. And for the person who is pretending to be gentle, it blows me away that how easy it is for people who are not having good intentions are able to mimic good qualities very well. So it just goes to show when people say that they're unable to, and oh, it's trauma, and they're just wired differently, baloney. The difference is they use it as a means to an end. The end result is to catch that rabbit, to catch your life, okay, and to cook you and to have you as their meal. When you're of a gentle nature, you have to be extremely, extremely wise. Jesus, when he sent his disciples out, it's interesting to say, he says, be wise as a serpent. Okay, it means you're consistently dodgy and watchful. You know when to dodge the bullet when it's coming, but he says, be gentle as doves. So which means you're not going about in your life looking to harm anyone. And you know deep down inside when you're of the person that's not of a predatory nature. A gentle nature person, and if you're of such, I would say hang on to it, cherish it, and at all costs protect the nature, protect the gentleness, protect it so much that the little rabbit don't have enough people that can come back, enough rabbits that can come back and tell them or scream at them, don't trust them. Be very careful when they come and they come over and they're acting all sweet and they offer you a little bit of food and they're walking up and they start talking baby talk. Be very careful. A person who's very gentle doesn't push it. In any aspect of dealing with them, you can know something within the lowering of the chin, okay, the body language that they give off. They're not on the offensive and they're not on the defensive. They learn later in life, of course, to be on the defensive, and they have to learn to. It is a very sad commentary that in life, as we go along, we have to now learn the traits, the characteristics of those who have become more careful. And if you add that to gentleness, you're sure to keep yourself from being someone's meal. Because the tender mercies of the cruel, the wicked, is cruelty in the end. And you will know them. There is something about the language that they give off when they come to you and they want something. If you are careful enough, even though you're gentle and you're careful enough added to that, you just got to watch your body language, their hand, where they will fold their hands as much as to create a barrier between you and them. If they come up with their open hands looking for something, you will immediately get a feeling, a sense to begin to overact your gentle nature with them. Because what they're really after in the long run, they're after what they know you will do in the end. So whether you consider this a conversation of inspiration, a warning, my advice to you, to those of you who are gentle out there, it doesn't hurt to also to be extremely careful when in the midst. You know the incredible thing with gentle people, what they do have, because they're so gentle, they're very light-hearted. They can pick up the fluctuations instead of the consistency of a person's communication when they're in their presence. Something just immediately starts to go ding dong. It's kind of like a warning bell. Something begins to trigger, and that little tiny bit of information is enough. That's all it takes for you to simply take a few steps back and allow your gentleness to be more gentle towards you instead of the predator who's standing before you. Have a good day, and I would love it if you like and subscribe. Thank you.